go. Alright guys, we are going to talk about the liver and the gallbladder. Your liver is a reddish brown organ located in the upper right quadrant of your abdominal cavity. And it is the body's largest internal organ. There's lots of fun facts about your liver, by the way. One is it's the only one that can regrow. So if you're an alcoholic, if you have a damaged liver and they take part of it, that part that they take will regrow. Anyways, it is divided into right and left lobes, which is then enclosed in a fibrous capsule like fibrous tissues. And it also contains a minor quadrant and a caudate lobe. You guys will see that in just a second. Each lobe is separated by hepatic lobules, consisting of your hepatic cells radiating from a central vein. Hepatic, just hepa means liver when you break it down. So hepatic sinusoids, channels that are filled with blood. What a sinusoid is, and it separates groups of the hepatic cells. Hepa just means liver. Okay. Alright, here's a picture of your liver. You have your right lobe, your left lobe, your ligament, your inferior vena cava, another ligament. This lovely little green thing is your gallbladder. On this side, this is your inferior side of your liver. This is your right lobe. This is your gallbladder. So on the other side of your gallbladder is your quadrant lobe, which is right here, which if you flipped this up would be right here. And then almost in a straight line, it's right by your inferior vena cava, is your caudate lobe. And then you have your left lobe and your ducts all right here, which we're going to go into here in just a little bit, and you'll see a better picture of them. The structure of your liver is blood from your hepatic portal vein, so this one right here, carries blood rich in nutrients into the liver. This is your vein, one vein, like in your entire body, that carries blood into the liver instead of out. So your blood passes from your sinusoids into the central vein of your lobule and exits your liver through your hepatic veins, which there's not one in that thing, but we will look at one here in just a minute. There's a Kupffer cells, which carry phagocytes into your liver. Your bile and your secretions from your hepatic cells are collected in bile canicula. So your bile and its secretions from your hepatic cells are collected in your bile canaliculi, which empty into your bile ductals that converge to become your hepatic ducts, which then finally makes your common hepatic duct, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. But it is also, here's a very tiny picture. It's right here. It's very hard to see. And then that common hepatic duct transports bile out of your liver. I'm going to talk about what bile is here in just a little bit and what its purpose is. So here is a breakdown. This is just different levels. So this is the superior picture of this. It's like a little chunk taken out. It's kind of still hard to see. The little green dots around are your bile ducts. They look like this. And then the branch of your hepatic portal vein is this, or right here. And here is your hepatic artery. Then you have little things called bile ductiles, which are right next to it. It's kind of hard to see. And then you have bile canaliculi, which are just stacked bile ducts, or like little bile ductals. And then your hepatic sinusoids are these blue things right here. This is what it looks like in a real liver. This is just a slice of a liver under a microscope. All right. And your blood flow, remember, there's two ways your liver gets blood. The main way through your body, your hepatic artery, and then your hepatic portal vein also gives your liver blood to the central vein. From the central vein, it can go out, but it also goes to your bile duct, which is right here. The bile ductoid and bile, and your Kupffer cells, and your hepatic cells, your central vein, your blood flow out of the liver, your blood flow into your liver right here, and then your sesamoids. Alright, so your liver has many functions. It's the biggest internal organ, then it does a lot for you. So it's responsible for many metabolic activities such as metabolism of your carbs, your lipids, and your proteins. So your main three macros that you eat on a daily basis, you should eat them. They're good for you. Maintains your proper blood concentration of glucose, so like your blood sugar and other nutrients like iron and things like that. It stores glycogen, vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin B12. Vitamin D synthesized through the sun typically, and vitamin B12 has lots to do with your energy. Iron, we're going to talk more about all of these nutrients at the end of this chapter. So it synthesizes lipoproteins, phospholipids, and cholesterol. It converts your excess carbs and proteins into fat and then stores them on your body. It deaminates amino acids, which just means removing from your urea. It synthesizes plasma proteins and clotting factors, so if you cut yourself, this is why your blood clots. It converts amino acids into other amino acids. It filters your blood, so it removes the damaged red blood cells and foreign substances and removes toxins. And then its role in digestion is to secrete bile. Here is your table. So it detoxifies, which just means removes. It helps with carb metabolism, lipid metabolism, and protein metabolism. It stores, it blood filters, and it secretes. So you guys just have to write the general function. Your specific function should already be filled out. Now we are going to talk about bile and what it does. Since our liver's job in digestion is to secrete it, we're going to talk about what it is. It is a yellow-greenish liquid that hepatic cells secrete continuously, which means they don't stop. It is composed of water, bile salts, bile pigments, cholesterol, and electrolytes. Your bile pigments, such as bilirubin and biliverdin, are broken down products from your hemoglobin, which is your blood, from worn out red blood cells. And so the only part that has any digestion is your bile salts. Nothing else in your bile can aid in digestion. This is stored in your gallbladder, and your gallbladder is that pear-shaped sac on the bottom side of your liver. It stores your bile in between meals and reabsorbs water to concentrate that bile. Its contractions of its muscular wall releases bile into your duodenum, which is just the top part of your small intestine. It's connected to a cystic duct, which then joins with the common hepatic duct, forming your common bile duct. duct. We're going to see what this looks like here in just a little bit. Your common bile duct leads into your duodenum, where it joins the pancreatic duct and your hepatopancreatic sphincter. So your hepta means liver, pancreatic means pancreas. So your liver, pancreas sphincter controls the release of bile from your common bile duct. And in certain conditions, your cholesterol may be too high, and it helps create something called a gallstone, which typically have to be removed in your gallbladder because you can't pass them like a kidney stone. There's a couple things that regulate the release of your bile from your gallbladder. You have to have the hormone acetylcholine. It stimulates, or CCK, which stimulates your gallbladder to contract. Your proteins and fats stimulate in your small intestine, stimulate the release of that hormone, and your hepatopancreatic sphincter remains contracted until your peristaltic waves approaches it, which then it relaxes and bile can enter your duodenum. Here is a diagram of how it goes. Stuff enters, and then your gallbladder releases your bile, and it breaks down your chyme. Here's a picture of gallstones. They have to be cut out because there's no way to pass them through this tiny tube. And you have a few hormones. You have gastrin, which is from a gastric cell in response to food. You have cholecystcholine, which lives in your intestinal walls in response to proteins and fats. And then you have secretin, which lives in the cell of the duodenal wall in the response of acidic chyme entering the small intestine. This is the one that secretes the high bicarbonate ion concentration to help neutralize that acid. All right. And what is a bile salt? Remember, it's the only part of your bile that helps with digestion. So bile salts help digest enzymes breaking down fat molecules. Bile salts accomplish emulsification. So it means it breaks everything down into essentially water. So it involves breaking down large fat globules into smaller droplets that increases their solubility into water. It increases surface areas of fats. That makes chemical digestion by the enzymes called lipase more effective. And bile salts aid in the absorption of a fatty acid, cholesterol, and fat-soluble vitamins. So that means you have to have some fat when you take those for them to work. This is the only part of your bile that helps with digestion. All right, that is it for today. You need to do your Smart Book 8. It's pretty short. After that, you need to fill out the exit ticket form. There is the link on this PowerPoint, which you guys have access to, and then, or you can just scan the QR code. Make sure you put your name, and there's 2 of them that are required. One of them is to pick what you're doing for finals. You can either do the cat dissection, a project, or if you're a senior, unfortunately, you have to take an exam because you guys will not have time to do the other 2 because you have so many fun things happening. Thanks, guys.